Hi, this is Dave Mast for HolmesCountyTicket.com. Welcome to Ticket TV. We are joined in studio today by Kevin Beachy. Kevin, here's what you need to know about Kevin. This is the agony of victory for Kevin. This is what you look like after running 26.2 miles and crossing the line as the victor. So congratulations, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, Kevin recently won the Pro Hall of Fame Marathon up in Canton. And that would have been this past Sunday, April 26th. Kevin, walk us through that thing. Run us through that thing. I don't know if you want to relive that or not.
Well, I was not expecting to win. We'll put it that way. I had one goal, and that was to break 2:50, 2 hours and 50 minutes in the marathon. I had ran 2:52 in the fall. So going into the race, that was my ultimate goal. There was another guy that I had ran a half marathon with a couple weeks before, and that was his goal. So voila, we decided to run together. And about mile 10, we were told we were in the lead, which I don't know. I don't know how much I believed it. We kind of figured we were second and third, but we weren't sure if there was another guy in front of us. So we were joined by a biker, just safety crew biker, and we hung together till about mile 18, and then he started fading. So I took over the lead, but I could see someone in front of me. I eventually caught that person. It was a relay team, and so then I knew for sure I was in the lead because it had because then I had the Bell Stores car and the police motorcycles.
How does that feel?
It was kind of neat, actually. I was going through a point where I was starting to hit that wall,
Which for most of us will be about 300, 400 yards in, something like that.
So I was hitting a major wall, but I saw that relay team. That really helped me out. So I caught them, and then there was about a mile to go, and I saw a guy coming. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I later found out he was a relay team guy as well, so I was fine. But thank goodness there was about a half mile out. There was a downhill, and I used that as my, start my kick into the finish line. So that was really cool. It was a great experience.
And this is a race, 3,000 participants in this race, close to 500 in the marathon itself. Talk about the exuberance that you have to feel crossing that finish line, knowing that you're breaking the tape, although I don't think people break tape. Do you still break tape at races like this?
Some you do. This one you didn't, but it really hit home when I had that downhill turn and I knew I was going to win. That was really cool. And I don't know. I was almost in tears, I guess.
I can imagine so.
You come in and the crowd there was a really good crowd. It was really loud, and they announced your name. The marathon winner coming in, and so I was running on adrenaline, probably for a good hour and a half after that. And then when it faded, man, I didn't feel very good. until then, I was just on that high or whatever.
Yeah, that high that always that comes with things like this just carries you through so much afterwards that. I'm assuming that when you crash after something like that, you're just spent. I mean, that's a long way to run.
Yes, I just didn't feel good. Stomach ache type deal. After my father-in-law ran, he PR'd, and then my wife Lindsay also ran under 4 hours. So I was kind of waiting on them to finish, and so once they finished, then it was kind of like, And then that's when I didn't feel very good. We had to take a shuttle back to the hotel. And man, I thought I was going to throw up there, but I was rewarding myself with a Coca-Cola. So that was
well, little plug for Coke there.
Yeah. So that settled my stomach. So that was kind of my reward, I guess.
So you think back to the Winter Olympics. This past Winter Olympics, I think it was, where Lindsey Vonn was way out in front. And she'd made that little fancy thing with her ski and her snowboard, and then fell and lost. You didn't want to do anything like that?
Oh no, I was
cartwheel or
those last few miles were not taking off fast enough. So I was just thinking about form and actually the opposite, trying to keep everything as simple.
Yeah.
Keep the arms relaxed. Keep driving the legs up the hill. Just things like that. It was really hilly, and actually the wind was every uphill. It was wind, and so it was kind of brew actually. So.
Talk a bit about the pre-race routine for you, and I know we've talked about this before, just preparing for running that far. And if you've never done it, which I haven't, I can't even imagine running that far. So how do you get yourself prepared to do that?
Well, it starts with the base training. We started with Lindsay and I, my wife, started probably shortly after the marathon in the fall. I'm training for this one, and you just add mileage. So since February, we've been putting in 50-mile weeks. So that's the first key there. You just have to get that mileage underneath your belt, and then the week of, we worked on, we ate a lot of pasta, carb loading, and then the morning of, you try to keep it as routine as possible. That being said, it's hard to sleep before a race, knowing you have to get up early and all that. So I always have a bagel and peanut butter or a piece of bread and peanut butter. Gives me a little bit of protein, and bread's easy digestible food, so I went with that. And then we got there about an hour before the race started, so it was a matter of just keeping warm. And then race time, marathon, you don't really need to warm up too much for, so most people actually don't do a warm up for a marathon, 26 miles. So, and then, drink stops and making sure you're getting some carbohydrates while you're running.
So I've often heard that upper echelon athletes will envision themselves perfecting whatever they're doing, succeeding in whatever they're doing. Is that something you do as you stand at the finish line? Are you thinking about going out and winning this thing? Because you said you weren't the favorite, but obviously you ran well enough to do so.
No, not in this case. I was just trying to break 250. The guy who won last year, he was a professional, and he would have beaten me, but he missed his alarm clock, so...
Isn't that a Seinfeld episode?
Yeah. No, really. I guess he missed his alarm clock. So, I had no expectation of winning until I knew at my own 25 and a half that I was going to win. So, I do envision success. Usually, it's my athlete's success and not my success, though. Right. So usually when I'm running, I envision my team making a state or something like that, and that's more what motivates me these days than my own personal success. That being said, it was really cool, and I might use that as motivation later on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens now? I mean, you go back next year as the defending champion, and
actually,
are you expected to come back? Or?
I'm not running that one next year
you won't
because Boston happens to fall the week before it.
Okay.
Generally, it's generally the week after Boston, so I will be running Boston Marathon next year.
And so you'll win that one too, then.
Yeah, a little bit higher price purse for that one.
Was there a prize purse for this one?
Yeah, there was.
Oh, wow, nice.
So
and that's bonus too, I guess.
Yes, I guess. Yeah.
The victory and prize packages to boot.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a nice trophy. I should have brought it. It was it's like a Pro Football Hall of Fame helmet, and it's in a glass case, and so it's really cool.
Nice.
So I have to show it to you.
That is very impressive. Well, Kevin, thanks so much for joining us here. We appreciate it, and congratulations again on just a fantastic effort.
Thank you.
For HolmesCountyTicket.com, I'm Dave Mast.